Well, I'm very glad to be here today to share the government's vision for the CRC Energy Efficiency Scheme. As you know, the imminent arrival of the first Performance League table will grade the early action of those participants in the CRC scheme. So very soon, you will for the first time be able to see how your efforts stack up with those of your colleagues and competitors. And I hope to see many of your organisations vying for the positions at the top. Then there's the robust reporting regime that the CRC puts in place. We require participants to take stock of their energy usage with comprehensive reporting. Participants are now properly measuring, monitoring and managing their energy. Only when you are aware can you act. Many of you are already no doubt familiar with the CRC's reporting regime. I've been amazed by some of the stories that I've heard of companies still paying the energy bills, sometimes for decades, of premises they no longer use, simply because they weren't aware of their energy consumption. Simply ending this view of energy as just a minor cost is already a major success. And this year has already seen the first annual report submitted by CRC participants, with the overwhelming majority arriving by the deadline at the end of July. And the final key element of the CRC scheme is that it escalates the issue of energy consumption to the boardroom. If the other drivers alone haven't forced the fight against energy waste onto the board's radar, the CRC guarantees it by requiring a board member to take personal responsibility for their organisation's energy consumption. Now, of course, difficult decisions have had to be taken in the CRC's development. I know many of you were disappointed by the ending of revenue recycling. However, the Prime Minister made it clear that balancing the budget was the government's top priority. This is the prime reason revenue recycling was ended. The decision should also allow for clearer business cases to be made in respect of energy efficiency investments. Furthermore, the CRC's financial impact can be mitigated. By investing in the uptake of energy efficiency measures, companies can lower their bills and lower their need to buy CRC allowances. We've been listening very carefully to concerns raised by participants and stakeholders about the CRC scheme. Some have gone so far as to call for the scheme to be scrapped in its entirety, replacing it with a simple tax and some form of mandatory carbon emissions reporting. Ministers take these views very seriously, and alternatives have been considered. However, ministers have decided that the CRC is the best tool for the job when it comes to improving the energy efficiency of non-energy intensive sectors. The CRC's array of elements mean that its impact is greater than the sum of its parts. And the range of barriers I've outlined require a policy that combines a range of solutions. Price isn't the only barrier, and that's why the CRC remains appropriate. I've heard from many participants also that the CRC is complex, and I wouldn't deny this. So are the problems we face, however. We do acknowledge there are areas where the administrative costs of complying with the CRC could and should be reduced. This will make participation easier and lighten the load placed on business to comply with the scheme. We do need to root out the unnecessary complexity. So in light of this feedback, ministers committed to make compliance easier and admin costs lower by simplifying the scheme. Now, this simplification process has to be evidence-based, so we've undertaken exhaustive research to better understand what the administrative activity is of complying with the CRC scheme. And I'd like to thank all of you who aided us in this effort by participating in our recent survey into the costs of complying with the scheme. We've had over 700 responses. This means we've got a wealth of data on which to base our simplification proposals. But when I talk about administrative costs, I think we do need to draw a distinction. Some admin costs are there for a good reason. For example, the costs associated with robust reporting. It does take resources for a business to understand and accurately measure its energy use. This will, however, lead to benefits, allowing that business to identify where energy is being used wastefully and where the opportunities for efficiency are. So it wouldn't be a simplification to simply remove all of these admin requirements, remove all of these reporting requirements, as some of them are a key part of delivering the scheme's benefits.